Hi dear students, I hope you are doing all well. Today in this lecture I'm going to give you two other financial functions in Excel, which is DB function and SLN functions. Both of them are used to calculate the depreciation of any asset, car, land, a machine, whatever, during a lifetime or a period of time. All that we're going to see it in the DB function and the SLN function. First of all, we're going to start with the DB function, which is returns the depreciation of an asset for a specific period using a fixed declining balance. So I'm going to give you in this lecture and further the four basic methods that you're going to use to calculate your depreciation. As we know, we have the fixed declining balance, which is going to be used with the DB function. We have the straight line function method, which we're going to use it in the SLN function. We also have the double declining. This is fixed and double declining. It's going to be in the DDB. And we have the variable depreciation or declining balance method, which is also depends on the DDB, double declining balance. So first we're going to start with this function, the DB function, and we're going to see it returns the depreciation of an asset for a specific period using a fixed declining balance. And the SLN for today returns the depreciation, also calculate the depreciation using the straight line method. So today I'm going to give you the fixed declining method and the straight line method to calculate your depreciation for any asset that you have. Of course, you're going to need the initial cost, you're going to need the salvage value, and you're going to need the lifetime in years or months or whatever. Now to start with the DB function, you're going to see I'm going to give you this notes for it. Returns the depreciation of an asset for the fixed using the fixed declining balance method. What do we need? The car value or any asset value or initial cost, or we can also call it the car cost, or we can call it initial cost as well. It's up to the question, up to the problem or whatever. So I'm going to go for car cost or car initial. So it's going to be easier for you. Car initial cost. This is the cost of my car when I'm going to buy it. This is the salvage value. The years. This is when the depreciation. When I want to sell it after 6 years, it's must be the cost must be like 14,000 for this car if I want to sell it in a good price. The lifetime, the useful time that I'm going to use this car is 6 years. So what do I need to do? I need to calculate the depreciation for my car if I'm going to use it for 6 years, and my salvage value is that I put is 14,000. So what was the depreciation in Indithar? What was the depreciation for my car after 6 years, or maybe after 1 year, according to our question? Now here in the DB function, I have 6 years, so I need to calculate the DB for every year. I cannot calculate it directly. I need to calculate the DB function for the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and sixth year, and then I'm gonna say the total of my depreciation after 6 years. How much was it? Now to do that, I make it here easier for you, but you need to follow some instructions. As we know, I can write it from here, just like here, DB function, and double click. You're going to see all the arguments or parameters you need: cost, salvage, life, period, and with these square brackets, this means that this one is optional. You might need it or you might not need it. Or I can just select, go to FX, type DB, go. I can find the DB right here, and this one will open for us. As we can see, this is an optional, but these are required. These are required, and this one is an optional. Or I can select, go to insert, go to formula, financial, and I'm going to search for the DB function, and I'm also going to get this dialog box here to calculate my DB function. So it's up to you which one is easier. I'm going to go for typing here, the DB. What do I need to do here? I have cost. Yes, I have cost. Salvage. Yes, I have the salvage value. Life. Yes, I have the life. And the period. This is the period. Because I'm going to calculate the DB for the first year, that means period number 1. I'm going to calculate the for second year, that means it's going to be for 2. Now what are we going to do here? It's very easy, just select. But because we're going to drag and we don't want to waste time, I need to do something. After selecting, I have to just press the F4 button to make it absolute value. This is very important. Okay, here you need to, just I said, you need to press F4 to make the value absolute. So I'm gonna press F4 on your keyboard. F4 on your keyboard. Now it's gonna be absolute value. This is very important. Just as I said, you need to focus on this one to make your calculations, your formula more easier. Now after doing this one, just press comma, select the salvage. As well, we need to use F4 again, comma, select the lifetime, just like we're gonna say, and also we're gonna need to do it absolute, comma. What do we have the period? Because I'm calculating the depreciation for the first year, number 1. That means the period here is 1. So where do I have the 1? I'm gonna click on this one. Okay, if I'm going to do it for the second year, I'm going to write number 2 and 3, but instead of writing numbers, I gave you here the years. You're just going to select for year 1, just select this one, close the bracket, parentheses, click. Now what do you need to do after that? Just select and drag. All the depreciations for every period, for every year will be calculated directly when you drag your function. Like here, it's going to be easy for you. Now what do I need to do? Go to total, calculate the total, and I'm going to see that the depreciation after 6 years is going to be $10,989, almost just like I gave it for the salvage value. Now this is the depreciation for my car after 6 years and with a salvage value of 14,000. Now what do we have else? I'm going to give you another example for the DB to make it easier for you as well. Now I have an initial cost for any business or machine in my company or whatever that cost $1 million. Cost me $1 million. My salvage value is $100,000, and the lifetime is 10 years. Now here I want to calculate depreciation for every year. The depreciation for every year, and how can I do that? Same as the other example, just DB. It doesn't matter of the lifetime or the period, whatever. The cost, I have it, and I need to press F4, comma. What do I need else? Salvage. Make it absolute value. Life. Make it absolute value, comma, and select the year. Close the bracket, press enter. Now what do I need from you to do is just a drag, just a drag. When you're going to drag like this, you're going to see the depreciation for every year that you're going to see. Now, what do I need to do now? The total. I'm just going to calculate the total. I'm going to see that here is almost the salvage value that I gave if we just subtract it from there. This is the depreciation for any asset that you have with a salvage value and a lifetime using the fixed declining balance method. Now, if we're going to go for the straight line, we're going to see the difference. We're going to take the same example, the first example for a car, and I'm going to write it right here, but now I'm going to use the straight line method to calculate my depreciation value, or how much was the depreciation. It's going to be very easy, but here where the function and the formula is much easier, we don't need years because it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. The equation of the straight line method is very easy. It's the you're going to subtract the cost from the salvage, mean car cost or the cost minus salvage value divided by the lifetime. So all of them will be equally the same. We're not going to use the years, and this is the method that we're going to use to calculate the depreciation for the asset. Let's take the same example and how we're going to use this one, SLN, and I showed you how we're going to write the functions as well. What do we need to do? Cost, and of course F4, salvage, and F4, and we're going to go for life and F4. As we can see, we only have 3 parameters or arguments in this formula, this function, sorry. Close the bracket, press enter. All of them, as we can see, will be the same. So if I'm going to go for auto sum, it's going to be 1125 minus 14,000, it's going to be 11,000. Here it's going to be $13, the difference between this method and this method. So you're going to need to know when to use the dB and when to use the straight line method. This is all about the dB function and SLN function. Next lecture we're going to go for the DDB, double declining balance, and we're going to go for the VDB, which is the variable declining balance. Going to use the double declining balance as well. Thanks very much for listening. See you next lecture.